Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar with iCabbi, which today is a spotlight on the iCabbi marketplace. I'm Sinead Gillette, and if this is your first time coming to an iCabbi webinar, you're very welcome. And for those who've returned, which I think there's a good few because I can see we've got very high numbers again today, well then thank you for coming back. And we trust that today's webinar will be as useful as the previous ones. So as I said, today is all about iCabbi Marketplace, and we are delighted to announce that we have a brand new partner joining us on Marketplace this week, which is Caboodleit. Caboodleit can help your fleet to create, brand and manage your very own local delivery network. So as we know, deliveries are more important now than ever. They're a future trend for the industry anyway, but the solution that we're going to show you guys today can help you not only create new jobs for your drivers, but also to create a new revenue stream in the form of offering your own, essentially an e-commerce solution whereby you are making commission from the sale of all the goods and services that are goods, food and goods that are on the store as well. So it's a really exciting innovation to bring to you guys today. I am going to just quickly go through our agenda, which is going to be led Niall Prenty. Sorry, this is not working for me. Let me click here. Here we go. Typical, right? So today we are going to have an update on iCabbi Marketplace from Niall Prenty, who many of you will know does a cameo on most of our webinars at the moment. But today he is not here to talk about the COVID-19 task force, although this is slightly relevant at the moment as everything is to do with taxi and your business. He's going to talk us through the evolution of the iCabbi Marketplace, where it's at the moment and where deliveries fit into that. And following Niall, we're going to move on to the stars of the show, which is the Caboodleit gang. They're also known to some of you guys, also known as the guys that work in city taxis in Sheffield. So like a number of partners on our marketplace, and some of whom I can actually see are tuning in today, Caboodleit has stemmed from within a fleet. So it's fleets creating innovations for themselves that they then feel can be shared more widely with other taxi companies as well. And that's really what iCabbi Marketplace is all about. And it's really exciting to see customers innovating their own products and bringing them to the wider market as well. So Arnie is going to be followed by Scott Ashmore, who has been instrumental in creating the technology that works to power Caboodleit. And following that, we are going to have a Q&A again. So a Q&A, as you guys know who've joined us before, we welcome questions in our iCabbi webinars. The Q&A button can be found at the bottom of your screens, just on the middle, just down here. And if you pop your questions in throughout the presentations, we will be keeping an eye on those, and then we will come to a Q&A session towards the end of the hour. And we will try and get to as many of those questions as possible. But it might not be possible to get through them all because I know the last time we had about 20 or 30 questions in. So we will have someone on hand who's answering questions live by text, and we will try and bring all the questions to the wider audience as well at the end of the hour. But don't worry, if your question doesn't get answered, it's not being ignored. We'll follow up with you guys straight away after the webinar. Following the webinar, we'll also send you an email with links on how to express your interest in Caboodleit as well. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome the lovely Niall Prenty. Niall, are you with us?
Sinead, it's Shane here. Niall's just had a technical issue getting in there. I wonder, could we keep going? And he'll join us.
I'm just joined. Sorry.
Here he is. He is the hairstyle of the year for Niall Prenty. It's getting better and better by day. So hopefully Niall's popping up on screen now to share that with us, and it's only going to get better from here on in. So Niall, I've just introduced our webinar, and you've come in perfect timing to talk us through the evolution of the iCabbi Marketplace.
Thanks, Sinead. Honestly, I was not getting my hair done for this. This is exactly as it was when I got up this morning. So just a little bit on the iCabbi Marketplace. For those that may not know it or aren't aware, we actually launched the marketplace about a year ago, and we have seen it grow really well over the last year. We now have over 60 partners who are providing their taxi-related technology. One of the reasons why we started the marketplace was simply to encourage innovation. And it's fair to say over the last year, we've seen lots. As you guys all know, taxi is complex, and there are so many challenges and opportunities within the industry. It's simply not possible for any taxi technology provider to keep up with what's required. We have so many partners in there now, but particularly it's been great to see the number of fleets who have come up with their own ideas and have built their own products and are using the marketplace as, in essence, the shop front that it is to get their products like AirPay, like Ciolo, like Wiz, like Gower modules. All these great products are now available to over 600 taxi companies in the markets that we service. We've some specific COVID-related offerings coming, so please watch this space for those as we release them in the next couple of weeks. Anyone who knows me will be very familiar with this phrase. At iCabbi, we've always believed that taxi is changing, and we've always believed that the future of taxi will involve not just moving people, it will involve moving stuff. The COVID-19 crisis has pushed more and more fleets into considering deliveries, and we've seen a great response from the industry over the last couple of weeks. Just want to move forward. We've seen, as I said, fleets, great response from them over the last couple of weeks. Fleets are now delivering with great success pharmacies, groceries. I've even seen Wellman, one of my favorite posts on LinkedIn over the last couple of weeks. They're not only doing charity food packages, they're also delivering stuff like coloring books to keep kids occupied in their local community. We've also made a change to our own passenger app. Last week we released an updated version that now includes a collect and deliver feature. And that collect and deliver feature allows a passenger to order online, take note of the order number and enter that into the passenger app so that the driver can go to the retail outlet and collect and deliver the order. We're not the only ones that have done that. I've seen Ride update their app. I've even seen Quartic, and fair play to these other passenger apps for responding so quickly. But we're here today really to talk about something that I'm really, really excited about. This is not a response. This is not a reaction to COVID-19. This has been a long time in the making. It's a fantastic addition to the marketplace. It's going to allow fleets, like all those that are on this webinar, to build a business around delivering. It is going to get fleets into last mile delivery. And I'm delighted to introduce Arnie Singh, the CEO of City Taxis. City Taxis are one of the early adopters of iCabbi. They spoke to us way back in 2014 and came on board in 2015. And we've witnessed them grow from an 800 car fleet to a whopping 2,000 just before the crisis. And I'm looking forward to watching that growth kick in again once this turns, as turn it must. So that's it from me from now. Great pleasure to introduce Arnie. So Arnie, over to you with your London backdrop there, I think. It's not Sheffield for sure.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mal, for that very warm welcome. Just to echo that, obviously we've been with iCabbi for a number of years now. And one of the reasons why we chose to move from our old supplier was the ability to sort of integrate and innovate around the core product. And it's a great pleasure to get a chance to sort of share this sort of next project with everybody that's on the webinar, which is our Caboodleit project. And actually share it on the marketplace, which, you know, we've really embraced the concept of iCabbi's marketplace arena for people to innovate and share new ideas and concepts. In the past, we've had experience of doing this with personally with the Ride project and with the disc phone system. So we'd like to think this is the next one that will be beneficial to other customers within the family. So I've got a few slides to share with you today, and just want to start really of why we've ended up getting involved in this project. And I suppose I put that down to my team really around me, my senior team. We've been talking about, particularly Paul Gosney, who's our business development director, around the fact that we in the marketplace, we have some massive players now coming to food delivery and delivery of stuff. So whether we're talking about Deliveroo, Just Eat, Uber Eats, or Amazon, or the couriers, the market's expanding at such a rate, and actually we sometimes forget that we could play a part in that, and have played a part in it for a number of years. We do deliver stuff, and always have done as a taxi fleet, but we don't necessarily tell people that that's what we do. You know, we predominantly advertise our businesses as taxi companies that, you know, pick up people and take them from A to B. But within that job count, there's the times where you're picking up food parcels, medicine, whatever it might be, and taking it, which is what you know the delivery market does. But our unique point is that we can do that on demand, which is where the traditional delivery models struggle. So to start off, with the first slide, if you like, I'm going to share what do we see the opportunity as. So delivering goods, I'm conscious that we've got American friends on the line too, as well as from Europe, but in the British courier and express delivery market, I'll just fire a few numbers at you. It was worth 12.6 billion in 2018. And if you look at the forecast for that, it's showing over the next 5 years to 2023, we're seeing a 54% rise. So we're talking about a market that is growing fast. Then if you focus on food, specifically, the UK online food delivery segment at the moment stands at 4.2 billion. And that revenue is expected to grow by 6.5%, which takes us up to 5.4 billion by 2024. Now that's not including the impact that COVID-19 will have, or has already had and will have in the next few months on those numbers. And then if you look at the global market, that predicted market volume by 2024 is 127 billion. So the opportunity out there, even if we as a collective group can take a very minor slice of that, in our opinion, is absolutely huge. So what is in this opportunity for us as fleets? Well, as we've analysed it, we think that fleets like us and yourselves are in a great position to take a piece of the action, really, and future-proof the businesses that we've spent years on building up. So, as I said earlier, we've done some form of delivery for years, and it's something that we do. It's something that we know how to do. Our drivers know how to do it. So we can adapt into this market quite quickly. We have what the multinationals and the tech giants want. Similar to when we compare ourselves to Uber. Uber are coming into our markets and have been doing for the last few years, trying to get what we've got. Our customers and our drivers, they're spending billions on winning that from us. It's a similar model when we think about the Uber Eats and Deliveroos of this world. We have a fleet and we have a network of delivery drivers sat within our platforms. We have passengers that, these people that are booking taxis will also be ordering food, whether they're doing it now or in the future. They are a customer base that we have direct access to. And the normal facts of day-to-day life of running a taxi company is you engage with restaurants and you engage with outlets across your territories. So we have those local relationships and knowledge to be able to engage with food establishments and grocery stores and local convenience stores. So it's part of our day-to-day heritage, which we don't really particularly engage with today, but we think you can. The opportunities around commissions are that if you analyse the market, the commissions that these restaurants and outlets are getting charged by the ones I've mentioned already, these big players, it's expensive. You know, anywhere in the region of 20% up to 35%. And our initial feedback on this is that the local independents, so maybe not your KFCs and your McDonald's and Subways, etc., but the local independents want to engage with a local offering, a bit like your local customers want to still engage with your local taxi company over Uber. We can also deliver further and faster. So when you look at what Deliveroo and Uber Eats do, they tend to have a maximum delivery radius of around 2.5 miles. In our pilot, we've extended that to 5 miles. So we're finding the local markets able to access a variety of different outlets that they can't on the bigger apps, but they can on the local offering. And we can deliver faster because obviously delivering it in taxis that can, you know, in our example, they can use bus lanes where within Sheffield where you know, normal vehicles and back they can't. So one of the USPs is we deliver further and faster. And the platform that we're introducing today and going to demonstrate to you is built by a company like ours with you in mind. So we know how the platforms need to integrate with the dispatch and how you integrate with drivers. So that is the overall pitch. And now we say, how can what does it deliver to your fleet? So, and what does the product mean? So the idea is that you get a white label delivery app, so which would tie in with your brand of your fleet, that can be customized to suit your local area and how that needs to operate, and really giving you a local delivery brand that sits alongside your taxi brand that gives you those 6 points on the left hand side of the screen there. So hopefully it drives increased job count for your fleet, which is work that you just didn't have before. Create greater revenue for increased volumes via the basket totals of the actual order value. Fleet efficiency should be driven through too, where we're starting to see the ability to be able to put a delivery journey in with a passenger because they can be grouped. And as the numbers scale, the increased ability to create efficiencies will also scale with that increased number. Driving increased customer engagement and loyalty, particularly through the COVID-19 crisis, what we've seen is the fact we've been able to position that City Taxis as a local taxi company has been able to pivot into the ability to deliver stuff out to people in need has been a fantastic marketing tool. I mean, obviously it wasn't planned, but it's been fantastically received by our customers and even our non-customers, that just the community that we're working within has seen us as a company that stepped up and engaged with the community and been able to connect independent outlets that were pretty much closed with their old markets via a significant delivery network. And it enables us to fight back against the multinationals. I mean, at the end of the day, our biggest competition from a taxi company is Uber. Uber does have Uber Eats alongside it. That is an additional offering to their customers. And why can't we do it ourselves? So, you know, we've got, you know, City Taxis, and now we've got City Grab. So we're you know, cross-fertilizing our our existing customer base with new offerings and, you know, maximizing the revenue. And moving back to this point about localism, you know, we're contributing back to the local economy and business community. And, you know, that there are local independent restaurants and outlets that do want to work with local business. And we particularly find that is paramount in Sheffield. And that is how the fundamental building blocks of this project have set forward, that we want to create a white label delivery platform for our local independent partners. So it's key to remember, we're not talking about, I mean, I'm specifically talking about Uber Eats and Deliveroo, which are, you think food and you think delivery food straight away. But we like to think Caboodle is, we deliver the whole kit and caboodle. So we're not just about food. This platform will create opportunities to deliver anything really, anything that can be delivered. So we put here from flowers to car parts to groceries. So that diagram on your screen now shows all the various options that we're trying to tap into, which gives us a bit of a USP, because there's not one of these big delivery apps actually tapping into all these options, which is very much a benefit to us. So coming back to the idea of what this product is, so the product is giving you the toolkit to be able to white label the platform into your existing brand, or if you feel like it's a separate brand would work, yeah, a separate brand. So on your screen here, this is the consumer facing app. So you would stick a brand in at the top of there, and then everything underneath is you populate, which Scott will show you later, within a comprehensive back end. So we've got an iOS and Android app, and also a website that you can force your customers towards. So we've been at this project for well over a year now, building the technology in behind it and integrating it with iCabbi. As everyone will be aware that's got involved in software development projects, it's a bumpy road, but we've pretty much got there now, and we've got CityGrab pretty much up and running and flying now. And off the back of that, in the last few weeks, we've started to sell the product into some iCabbi customers. Some of those are on your screen now. So we've got Drive in Hull, Eat Me, which is a brand that ADT have come up with in Leicester and Loughborough, Grab by Blue Line, which is Blue Line taxis in Newcastle, Club Grab in Manchester, Vizu are putting it across the brand of Vizu Delivers across all their different sites within the UK, Alpha Grab in Liverpool, and we've got Delta. So we're quickly managing to scale the product into some key iCabbi customers. So I've touched there on our brand. So we decided to go with CityGrab as the sort of food, the delivery app partner company. And as you can see on the screen there, that's how we're positioning it within our local markets. So social media has become very key to how to scale this product and get the message out. But as you can see on there, we're not just about food. We've got juicers, vapes, which has been an interesting one. We didn't quite think of that even before we went go live, but it's up there. I think it's our number one store now. Pharmacies, garden centres. Obviously, within COVID-19, most of them have shut down, but they've got loads of current time of year means they've got loads of bedding out plants to deliver. So we've engaged with a couple of garden centres that are boxing up plants to shift around. So coming back to the point, literally you could use this platform to deliver anything for anybody out there that you can think of. Looking at the growth mapping of where we where we thought we would be. There's a few lines on here. The dotted green, orange and blue lines are, you can see at the bottom, green line is 30 outlets doing 40 jobs a week. The orange line is 60 outlets signed up doing 55 jobs a week. And the blue line is our overall target where we want to get to, is 85 outlets doing 75 jobs a week, which then creates, on the left-hand side, you can see the number of journeys that's going to spin into your taxi model. So there's sort of two revenue streams here. There's one taking a percentage of the basket total on the food order, on the deal that you do with the outlet, and then also there's the traditional commissions and rent models that we take on the increased journeys within the taxi company. As you can see, that the pink line is our growth over the last few weeks within City Grab, which you can see is pretty significant from our launch date of the 16th of March, which is just over a month ago. So we've gone from doing nothing to nearly 3,000 jobs a week within just over 4 weeks. I touched on social media being probably the most important tool. To market this product, we've advertised via SMS links to our existing taxi base and also on our social media channels. You can see we've had 782,000 impressions in just 4 weeks. What's interesting here is, and I didn't quite fully understand the impact myself until we got the project running, was that it's not just about your social media reach. Every outlet that you stick on, and we've got some very significant, well-known names that work within Sheffield, they have significant followings within their social media channels. So when everybody gets sharing everybody, the numbers really stack up and the message gets out there very quickly. So again, leaning on your local contacts and their followings too. And we've done a few different incentives over weekends and stuff. So we've done free delivery one weekend where we invested the money in that to get the numbers up. We've done 99p deliveries. The last 2 weeks we've given all the weekend delivery fees to the NHS to try and get the correct message out there and to get the buy-in from the community to support the project. And then the top right one of the pictures there is one of the successful restaurants that we've got on is a pizza company called Prove, and they've done a deal with us where they're giving 15 pizzas a day out to frontline staff, and we're delivering it. So they're providing the pizza, we're providing the journeys, and using that as a strong message on all over social media that we're supporting our NHS at this time of need. So again, just finishing off on social media, lots of shares. The Twitter feeds are full of it. But isn't it fantastic that we can get our local Molly Farms products via City Grab? We can get booze delivered to the home. And doing as much sharing as possible with it within our networks. So the idea is there, become part of something big. We could create something big together with buy-in. So what is in Caboodleit? So Caboodleit will provide the applications and the infrastructure that you need to run your own fleet marketplace. Customers will place takeaway and goods orders via fully branded mobile app and website. These orders will be sent to restaurant terminals, whether physical terminals or virtual terminals on laptops and iPads. And then those orders will be fulfilled by your taxi fleet and your companies. So that diagram on the right-hand side, if you think about the top of that being your marketplace, and you have a back-end management portal, this is where you set your outlets up, which is the tier down. So they could be a local off-license, a local shop, convenience store, a restaurant, a nursery, it could be, you know, a garden centre, anything in that middle line. We then have the branded apps and your website that is displaying these outlets within it, and then your customers at the bottom, which you're engaging on via the apps. So they place the bookings into the outlets, that gets fed into your marketplace, and then those journeys are completed by your delivery network. And that's, I'm making it sound simple, but it pretty much is that simple. So as part of our offering, what we've got in the pack is the following. So as part of, if you want to get on board with this project, we've got an element of brand design, which we will help with. So we'll give you a bit of guidance. One of the partners in this project is a marketing specialist and branding expert. So we've built in a bit of time with him to discuss your current brand and how delivery could sit alongside that and come up with a name. We've got some marketing support around what we've done from a social media strategy and how we've launched it, and what we, we'll share that with anybody that wants to come on board. We will show you where to source the hardware, which we're using currently in our pilot. This is the hardware that you would want to put in the outlets if you go down that route. If you don't want to do hardware, there's also a virtual terminal, as I said earlier, that you can use on a laptop or a tablet. You get the apps, as mentioned before, and also the website where people can book, and also the back end where you would set everything up. A sign-up pack, so we've done a vanilla sign-up pack where you can take this out to your outlets and sign them up. So once you've settled on a brand, we stick the brand into the sign-up pack, and that allows you to go out to market and get signing up outlets ASAP. We provide training, obviously, on how to use all the tech and how to set outlets up, menus, etc. How to pay out the outlets at the end of the week once you're paying out the basket. So we provide all that training. Legal documentation is important, so we've got T's and C's for both the outlet and the customer. Privacy, cookie policies, and allergy policies. So we've done vanilla documents there that you can stick your own company name into and pretty much run with. We'll help onboard the whole project to get you up and running. So just to touch on the what you would give to the sales pack, this is roughly what it would look like. So for example, ours looks like this is City Grab. The one you've seen in front of you is the one that went to Newcastle. So we've stuck the blue line by Grab logos in there and these colours and made it look like it's their welcome pack. So this is what they take out to sign outlets up. The management portal is where all the hard work's done. So within here, you set up vendors and you'll add menus and inventory. I'm not going into too much detail on here because Scott will just touch on this with the live portal in a minute. But this is where the order management takes place, where you can drill out reports around which outlets are performing well and provide them with information, and also where you do your billing and your payments from. Your marketplace fees. So how this model is set up is ideally you go out and sign a vendor up and you charge 20% of whatever the basket is. On top of that, you will charge your delivery journey to the customer. So if a basket is £10, you will charge the outlet £2. That is variable. That is up to you. You can charge whatever percentage you like. But we recommend, when we ran the numbers, that the minimum viable charge is 15% of that basket total, out of which within our model we would take a 10% commission, which funds all the technology, etc. So you would take the other 10%, and most fleets that we've taken on in addition to this are looking at putting an additional service charge on top of the basket to the customer to cover your Stripe fees, because it will come, the transaction will be carried out through your local Stripe account. We're on a mission. We love local. So the idea behind Caboodleit is that we're aiming to power one of the largest networks of end-to-end, become one of the largest networks of end-to-end delivery platforms. And we do this by partnering with taxi services around the world via iCabbi's marketplace. And the ultimate goal here is to drive success for our local businesses, you know, against the big global players, and keep that revenue and profit within our local economy. So yeah, I'll stop there. And but that's my overview of the product and sort of the business concept behind what we're trying to create. And at this point, I'll hand over to Scott, who's been instrumental in building the back end and the tech. Who'll just walk you through the back end where you set the menus up and the outlets, and B, how the customers will integrate with the products on the on the front end via the app. So Scotty, over to you, mate.
So I'm just going to share my screen now. So as Arnie mentioned, I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of the Caboodle backend. So as you log into the system, you will be greeted with some statistics which are performing either by day, week or month, with some nice breakdowns on how your marketplace is performing. Within the backend, you have a section where you can add restaurants within here. So in a restaurant, you get the ability to enter information such as, it's down to cuisine filters, but that will be the filters within the app. So that would be things like whether it's a vape or like what type of cuisine it is, like Chinese, health food, or whatever that may be. You've also got the ability to override your global marketplace setting. So if you have a global setting of say 20%, but you need to do a better deal for this restaurant to get them onto your platform, you have the ability to override that to set a percentage here. The system will handle all VAT registration, registered restaurants too on their food side of things. When you get to the restaurant and the menus, it's quite in depth on what menus you can have. So if you have the menu sections such as breakfast, groceries, sides, things like that. These can be scheduled to come on at certain dates and times, so that only breakfasts are available between certain times, for example. Then within the items themselves, you can go even deeper to options that are on the sub items, and even down to the level of whether these items are age restricted or if they are vegan, gluten free, and so forth. Each restaurant, has individual outlets too. So that will be in scenarios such as like a Subway, where they might have one menu that will cover maybe 10 stores. To save adding 10 menus, you can add outlets under the restaurant to add radiuses per outlet and let them share the menus. There's a discounts option within here. So if the restaurant wants to run a promotion, they might be able to say run a 10% discount, for example, on their food items. The system will handle all that too. There's a live order section within here. So you can see the various statuses of orders that are coming into the system. So when an order comes in, that will be pending for a restaurant to either accept or decline the order. You can, once the restaurant from there will then either accept or decline the order, that will move to the next tab to preparing. At the point of the restaurant accepting the order, that's when the system will book the journey into iCabbi for the required pickup time. The restaurants then have multiple options that they can do on their terminals or their virtual terminals that they can use within the system. If they ready an order early, then the system will fully handle the iCabbi booking by bringing that forward to be collected. And then from there forward, once it's on your dispatch screen, it will adhere to your rules of how you want the booking to be dispatched. We also provide a system in here for all your reporting, so you can see how you're performing, how your individual restaurants are performing, so you can manage who are your top performers and who are the ones that need to pick it up a little bit. And then we also provide a reporting system where you can see within here how much you need to pay each individual restaurant on a weekly basis. As Arnie mentioned, you get provided a branded website. So this is one of the banner websites. If I just quickly put a postcode in here, we can see that we get presented with a list of menus that are within the postcode. Restaurant, sorry, and then if going to the restaurant, we then go down to menus. I'll switch over to the mobile app so you can see quickly how the mobile app works. So here we have the CityGrab branded Caboodle app. If I go into the app, you can see that we have the full restaurant list that are within my radius. Across the top, we have cuisine filters, which also filter in things like vapes or any like convenience stores that you may have on here. If I click onto vape, for example, you can see that we filter down to the vape store that is available. As you can see, the vape store is currently closed, which is allowing for pre-orders. If I go in, the vape menu will populate. This is the different sections of the menu where you can set them out within the Caboodle backend. If I go into one of the options, you can see we are then presented with options within that subcategory. If I click on one of these liquid options here, I can then choose the item options. If I just choose some of these options here, I add one of those to basket, and I have not currently met the minimum order requirements, so I'll add another one. Once I've added the second item, you can see that we're there now in the item checkout at the top in the basket. If I click on the checkout, we go to the next step where you can see that we have our items that are in our basket ready to order. If you need to add any order notes, there's a section for that at the bottom here. So that may be modifying an item slightly, like as the option suggests, like no onions or whatever it may be, or any kind of modifications to the items. If I click proceed to checkout, you can see that because this is a pre-order, because the restaurant's closed, it is now popping up straight away asking me what time I would like this item to be delivered tomorrow. If I choose 12 o'clock, what would happen at this stage here, if the restaurant is open, it would default to ASAP, to which you can then change the time if you do want to pre-order for later on tonight. There's a delivery notes section which will populate, which will allow you to put in anything that may help the driver find the destination. If I go continue on that, you can see the next stage is the checkout. This is where we populate things for, like, to confirm the customer is over 18. If I check that, and then the next one is if you want a contactless delivery, which is quite useful in the current COVID situation. If I populate those, and that will alert the driver that he has to check identification of the customer, and it also will state that the customer wants a non-contact delivery. If I click pay and complete here, this is the stage where that will then send the order through to restaurant. It will pre-authorize the funds to make sure they have funds there. Once the restaurant accepts the order, the booking will be placed into iCabbi and the funds will be captured.
Sorry, guys. So I was just saying there, guys, thank you very much to Scott and Arnie, and also Paul, who's now going to come and join us on the panel. We've got tons of questions, and actually the amount of questions is the reason why I didn't pick up on you guys saying you couldn't see the screen, because we were being flooded and I was reading through them, attempting to sort them out, ready to put to the guys here. So thanks Claire and Ben and Gord and anyone else that put that message in for us, and apologies for that. So we have tons of questions in, and I'll go to probably an easy one to answer first from Gary. What is the typical commission usually charged by apps like Uber Eats and Deliveroo charged to the business outlets?
That's to me, Sinead.
You can take that one, Paul, and welcome to our webinar. The first time we've heard your lovely broad accent.
Oh, thank you. That's why I thought I'd let Arnie do the presentation. Guys, thanks for joining us around the world and UK. Yeah, and the app commissions varying from 12% where they deliver their own goods up until 40%. And it's very dynamic across the globe that we've found as well. But a lot of places don't have a local option. So that's why this was one of the main reasons we brought this in. So it's varying 12 to 40%. And there are also a lot of hidden costs as well.
Okay, great. Thanks, Paul. This is a brilliant question in from John. Arnie, I'll put it to you. Does Caboodleit have to use taxi drivers?
Well, that's a very good question. So the initial thoughts on this was that the important thing, the side benefit, was you create a delivery platform for your taxi company, using your taxi drivers, creating increased job count, which is I mentioned it earlier. It's a second bite at the cherry, really. There's two profit streams, but it's working for us obviously at the moment because, like everybody on the call, I'm sure they've experienced a dramatic decrease in job count. So we have the resource available at all times to be able to deliver the demand that we're getting, and obviously a lot more demand. We're 75% down roughly now on job count, so we have a lot of capacity available. But it was always in the roadmap that this platform will be busy when we're busy delivering people into town on Fridays and Saturday nights, etc. So we very quickly in the last few weeks you started to use non-taxi drivers to test the model, because we've moved on, and I don't think it needs to be exclusive to your taxi fleet. So we've used iCabbi, we've set up a different site, we've now got 8 non-licensed drivers working. The model there is that they just need a business insurance on their policy. It can be anybody to do it. So yeah, we've got a number of working on that model, and I think that's where we will head with it. So we'll have a number of non-taxi drivers within the delivery site, and then we will use our fleet as an overflow. Which is a lot of flex in there as and when we need it. And myself and Paul have very recently been talking over the weekend, and also I talked it through with Tom at Blue Line. I don't know if he's on the call, but around the idea of having a scooter fleet too, that will handle some of the shorter journeys in and with around town. So we're looking at buying probably a dozen scooters and sitting them in the city centre doing the 1 mile journeys. So the answer to the question is, yeah, you don't just have to use your taxi fleet. You can use what you like.
Okay, so great question really that came in from John, and thanks again for that. And I suppose the other thing on that is that it's your app and it's your delivery platform once you use this white label solution. So it's entirely up to you as the fleet owner to decide that for yourself, and depending on your geography and the demand and all that goes with that. Correct. So here's a very simple question here. It's from another Ben. Arnie, this is a numbers one, so I'll put it to you. Is there a setup fee? Is the 10% commission on the delivery, or what?
Okay, so yes, there is a setup fee. We're sort of having those conversations based on the market that the customers work, the fleet's working within, how big they are, how many territories they want, and the 10% is on the basket total, so the outlet total, so not the journey. We stay clear of the journey. So let's say the pizza order's 20 quid, the 10% charges on the £20, but the £20 would have the journey on top. So let's say it's a £4 delivery journey. The overall basket total would be £24, so £20 plus 4. But our 10% would only be on the £20.
Okay, a question in here from Martin. Paul, this might be one for you. What's the staffing requirement for running Caboodleit? So when you're speaking to fleets, what kind of personnel do they need, to go out and speak to the local businesses to set it up and to manage it?
Sorry, I'm just typing away there, Sinead, answering some questions. That depends on the size of the fleet, whereabouts you are, what relationships you've already established, what relationships you need to build. At the moment, we've streamlined it back, and it's working very efficiently over our South Yorkshire, over our geographical area.
Okay, very good. Another one that's come in, I can see that you've responded to this on the private chat, Paul, and also to Arnie, but I think it's a good one for everyone to understand. One of the concerns with the drivers is around the wait time. What happens if the time a driver has to wait to collect an order exceeds the fare? How does this work in your model?
Arnie?
Do you want to go with that, Goz, or me?
Yeah, sure. So on I answered this question actually, fastest finger, I think it was.
You're a winner.
The wait time, I think there's an element built into the first mile. So, but we also liaise with our customers and with our clients and the outlets that we monitor the drivers as well. We've identified a couple of drivers who've pressed arrive early, but we actually monitor that. The customers, if there's any pattern that they've actually been waiting longer for their goods, then we communicate with those outlets and say, look, you booked for, say, 7 p.m. and the driver's been waiting till 1:15. This is a regular occurrence, but touch wood, it's pretty much in control of that at the moment.
Okay, very good. How do you recommend that the app is marketed in your local community? Any tips? And Paul, that's definitely for you because you are the marketing man, the mad marketing man of City Taxis Sheffield and now Caboodleit.
Yeah, I'm responsible for everything. The marketing, it's key to exploit your existing channels, your existing customer base, the relationships you've got with businesses. As we mentioned in the presentation, which Arnie alluded to, was that social media, and this being a digital product, is vast, and the amount of feedback that we've got, and how positive customers, outlets, and before everything that we're currently in this current environment, we were getting positive vibes from everybody at that stage and buying into the localness and having local outlets on there, and basically the audiences which you've got out there around the world buying into your customers, and it's been quite remarkable.
Okay, very good. Guys, we are really running out of time now. So Paul, Arnie, Scott, if you want to have a scan through the questions that are there and select any that you think might be really useful to our wider audience. And I'll just put one that's come in here around the lead time for getting set up on Caboodleit. How long will it take from when people express their interest to actually getting this up and running in their local area? Arnie, that might be for you.
Yeah, I mean, we've got quite a pipeline at the moment of people wanting to sign up, just from, just having conversations with my immediate peer network. But I would suggest it would be from signing up, it will be 3 to 4 weeks to go live now with what we've got in the hopper, if you like. But what that doesn't prevent is from signing up, the ability to be able to sign up the outlets ready to go live. So in that meantime, between sort of signing up and go live, a lot of work can be done to set the outlets up that you're going to go live with. So yeah.
Okay, and as you said before in your presentation, there's already a lot of relationships between taxi companies and definitely with restaurants. So it's used that interim period to get out to talk to the vape stores and the pet stores and everybody that you want to have on your app.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, did you guys pick up on any questions that absolutely need to be addressed now publicly, guys?
Just on that, Sinead, I think that a key for me is relationships with customers. Probably historical customers you may have lost some work to, other companies trying to get in there, maintaining journeys, and also relationships with new customers. We've got some customers we never thought we'd probably deal with, especially with taxis, but now we're delivering from them, and it's changed the business as well.
It's a whole new world for taxis.
Absolutely, and for us, but it's very, very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. And as you guys said at the beginning as well, this really isn't a knee-jerk reaction to COVID-19. This has been in development for over 18 months. So it's very much something for fleets to consider as part of their medium to long-term strategies. There is a bit of work involved in getting your local businesses involved in it, but it certainly will be beneficial both for you and for those local businesses as well. And it's all about supporting enterprise within the community. So thanks guys for all of your answers. And look, to everyone who's listening whose question wasn't answered, we do apologize, but we will come back to everybody in turn. You will hear from us, so do not worry about that. One way that you can help us now is by taking our poll to let us know what you have thought of Caboodleit and how useful it might be to you guys. So the amount of questions that have come in probably indicates that there is a big interest in this, but we are always interested in finding out what your thoughts are in black and white statistics, which is great. I had a quick look through the guest list that we had here today, and I just would like to say that it is really wonderful to see so many people tuning in from around the world. And I could see Claire, I hope you don't mind if I call you out there. Claire from Wellman Cars has tuned in, and she was called out by Niall at the start, commending some of her social media posts which display the initiatives that they're doing in terms of delivery. So well done to you guys. We always enjoy seeing what you're up to. Lots of other fleets as well that I can see that we've been following on social media too. I can see customers there, Phoenix, Arizona. Our friends in Virginia are there as well, Finland. It's really, really brilliant to see all those names that are familiar to us, and especially to see some new names that I think are newbies to our webinars. And I hope that today has been useful for you guys. So we'll take down the poll, and then we'll just end by letting you know what is coming up at iCabbi. So as you know, we have a COVID-19 resource hub on the website. So go straight to the website and you'll see a link to it there. We're constantly putting up lots of content on it, which is useful for you guys, news, stories from iCabbi. So keep an eye on that for articles and ebooks and stuff like that. Next week, we have a webinar on Wednesday, the 22nd, and that is by Kyle Summers. So Kyle is one of our customers in ODT in Virginia near Charlottesville. And Kyle is an absolute wizard when it comes to API integrations with iCabbi. So he is better than anybody in iCabbi at this kind of stuff. So we thought there was nobody better to come on and share his experience and his journey of how he streamlined his operations and reduced his costs with API integrations. And funnily enough, Will, who's Kyle's business partner, I can see there was a question that came in from you around APIs and Caboodleit. So we will come back to you on that, although you'll probably figure out the answer before us or Scott or anybody like that. But that is going to be a really, really good webinar to attend. The following week then, Wednesday again, our Wednesday webinars, we are going to be focusing on our Voice Plus product. So you'll get an hour-long walkthrough of that product, which is really an extensive look at what it can do for you guys in terms of premium IVR. So with that, I would just like to say thank you very much again to our friends at Caboodleit, to Arnie, to Scott, and to Paul. And just to let you all know that Caboodleit are now, you will find them on iCabbi on the marketplace. So just go to icabbi.com/marketplace and you'll find them there. I think they're actually the first ones that you'll see because they're brand new. And you'll also receive an email straight after this webinar, which will give you a link to express your interest. So I think we are going to have lots of interest. So get your inquiries in there soon so that you have joined the queue. So thank you again to everybody for joining us. We've gone a little bit over in time, but I hope you found it valuable, and stay safe.